what's good? It's your girl Francine. Today is Friday and it is another rendition of Girl, I'm trying to say Go Black Card, a segment in which I watch movies and TV shows in black culture that I, as a 29-year-old woman, have not seen yet. And there is a lot of these being suggested by you, a lot of these being ones that I want to watch. And so, like I did on Monday, I will be taking it out of a little container. I have those in here, and I will be picking which movie I'm going to be watching by taking it out, and it's all random. So if your movie does not come out, that'll be me.
You know, it's Valentine's Day. So cute.
So that will be already chosen out. Some of those were suggestions from y'all, so it worked out. But yeah, that being said, let's get into this pick. Let's see. Ooh, okay. Oop, girl. What movie we watching? I'm scared. Because if it's the one I don't want to watch, it's the one I don't want to watch. No! I don't even know if you can see that. It's Belly. I tried to watch this movie. I tried. The beginning of this movie. The beginning of this movie was hard to get through. So if you watch my Thin Line Between Love and Hate movie review, you will see that I tried it for that one, and I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. But I know this is a hood classic, and I know that y'all love this movie, so I am going to watch Belly. I may look totally different because I am taping this on Saturday, and I plan on watching it tonight, and I don't know if I'm gonna redo my makeup looking all cute because, you know, it's a long week, okay? I'm back. I just picked the movie and then I went to go watch it. I have my notes. And I want to start by saying this. I know in the beginning I said I did not want to watch this movie, and I still did not. But I don't hate this movie as much as I thought it was. So that's a plus. So all y'all people who are gonna be mad at me in the comments, I don't hate this movie, but this is an honest review, and I will do such. Now, I will compare this review to my Menace to Society review because I felt like in those comments, a lot of people were not even really upset. I don't think most of them were upset, saying, you know, hey, I lived this life, this is the life I grew up in, I identified with this movie, that's why I loved it, you know, I was in the hood, yada yada. And I just need y'all to take into account, the name of this channel is Awkward Black Nerd. Your girl is a nerd, okay? I was not a hood, I was not into these stuff and things. Now granted, I've dated some hood people, but that does not mean that I know anything about it because I wasn't doing any of that, okay? That was not me. So you gotta take that into consideration, that my point of view of a movie may be different than your point of view of a movie. But I enjoy watching these movies. I enjoy exploring other people's lives and getting in depth into them. However, I also like good movies. And I'm sorry, even though I don't hate it, it wasn't really that great of a movie. I feel like this movie could have been a good movie. There were so many good aspects in this movie. That's why I said I don't hate this movie. It's just, let's just get into the review, because now I'm talking too much, and I need to actually tell y'all what the movie is about, give y'all my reactions when I watch them. I attempted to do an actual live reaction like I did for my Monday video, but the setup and like getting the TV and me, because I wasn't gonna do it on my computer because that's a whole nother thing. The screen recording my computer, I need to get that fixed. But it's just, I didn't want to mess anything up, and I like watching TV on my TV. I'm not one of those people who like watching TV on a computer or on a phone. So we might try that later. Y'all let me know if I really want that. I know a lot of people have been in my comments saying they want reactions. So I do want to figure out a way to set that up. But for movies, it's a lot different than for an album. So just saying. I need to figure out all that technology and how to do all those stuff and things. So when I do and you really want it, you really want it, I'll do it. Thankfully I didn't do it for this way because I paused this movie at least 10 times to be like, what? What? Who's that? because that's how this, let me just get into the review. Okay. We start off this movie. They go in, there's these guys, they're going into a club, a strip club, I think. And if you watch any of my other movie reviews, you know I don't know actual character names, okay? No idea. So I'm gonna be referring these people as to who they are in real life. So Nas, DMX, and two other dudes are coming into this club, and you know, they freshed out, and I saw this movie is directed by Hype Williams, and then everything about this movie made sense. Everything made sense. The visuals, the cinematography is exactly like a 90s hip hop music video. So that makes sense. I get it. I know why it looked the way it did. And also the dialogue reminded me a lot of some 90s hip hop kind of talking and stuff like, and that's maybe why I didn't really understand what half the stuff that was. I was like, what? I don't, who is? Let's get to here nor there. We get into this strip club and everybody's chilling and we hearing, how do you want it? How do you need me? However do you want me? Now granted, because there is musicians in this movie and it's directed by Hype Williams, of course the music is good, so that's another good part of this movie. The music is fire, okay? So they're coming through this club and they get to this place and they just start shooting people. And I'm like, oh shoot, okay. And they shooting people and then they rob the strip club, they drive off, it's crazy. DMX is being DMX in the car. And that's another good aspect of this movie because DMX may not be the best actor, but he can play himself, okay? Because this is pretty much what I would think that DMX is like in real life. To be quite honest. So I'm like, I bet, like, okay, DMX is being loud and rowdy in the car or whatever. He's talking to this dude Black saying they need to get rid of the car. Nas is narrating over everything, and that's one thing I don't like about movies, but I kind of liked it in Paid in Full, so I can't say I don't like it completely, is when people narrate and don't show you what's going on. Like, because a lot of that happens in this movie, that boy just narrating and we don't really get any substance to what he's narrating about. But again, I'm getting ahead of myself. So they're in a car and they go to DMX's house. Nice house, all white everything, okay? And he got this big screen TV and he's playing, I don't know what the, okay? I don't know what's on this TV, but okay. And boy that's there, who I don't really remember his name because he wasn't really that important. He was there, he was being loud, and DMX was like, yo, you gonna wake up my wife? Like, she upstairs, let's quiet down. And boy like, oh my bad. And he started playing pool, and we see his wife upstairs, who for some reason is sleeping with a full lingerie set. Now, maybe I'm doing something wrong because I don't sleep like that. just laying there and okay, cool. And so sis comes down, she like, yo, can y'all keep it quiet? I'm trying to sleep. And then he kicks everybody out. This is the part where I cut it off the last time, because if you watch my Thin Line Between Love and Hate movie review, you will know when I watched the movie the first time, I wasn't in a good headspace. I was not really trying to push through and watch a movie I did not want to watch. I was trying to have a good time and enjoy a movie. And this part rubs me the wrong way. So we see DMX's wife, whose name is Keisha. I do remember her name because it's a very memorable Black woman name. Keisha is pretty common, okay? So Keisha goes through his pager, because that's where we're at in this time period. We're having pagers, ooh. He goes through his pager and sees that some girl is texting him. Now, the reason why this part makes me mad is for two reasons. Number one, it's completely unnecessary to the story. And I'm happy about that, because if this was a part of the storyline, I would have been even more mad. So, but it's unnecessary to the story. And number two, boy's a pedophile. Let's get it out. Yeah, boy's a pedophile. He apparently been talking to a 16-year-old little girl, who he can't have sex, but she can do oral things with her mouth to him. Boy, you're still going to jail, bruh. You're still going to jail. That doesn't count. It still counts. I don't know if you know, but it still counts. But whatever. It kind of rubbed me the wrong way so much at that point, and they kept hashing out this scene in the beginning like it was going to be important. So I cut it off because I thought it was going to be important to the story. It's not. Thankfully. So I just skipped past it in this because I knew it was coming. And he starts being abusive to his wife, and then they have sex, and Nas goes home to see his wife, who is T-Boz. I'm going to call her T-Boz because I know who she is. and they all lovey-dovey. They got a little kid and they have, and so next thing we get to, let me say something that happened during the scene at DMX's house. There's a MTV News report that just randomly comes up, so I figured it was going to be important to this movie, and it kinda is-ish. Talking about some new drug that's causing all these problems with these people, and you know it's running rampant, right? And then it cuts off. I'm like, this is obviously letting us know something's about to happen. So then the next thing we get to Nas gets a call from DMX to come outside. They are in the car, and we gotta get to the elephant in the room. Nobody in this movie can act. Nobody. Like I said, DMX is playing himself, so it's passable as acting. Method Man is in this movie, spoiler alert, and I thought he could act. Kinda. I'll give him passable as well, but literally everybody else in this movie cannot act, and one of the biggest culprits of that is Nas. Bro, who told you can act? Because they don't care about you. They don't. They let you get out there and embarrass yourself. Because my guy, sounds like, if you ever like given someone something to read and they don't know what they're reading, like, you know how you used to read out loud when you were younger, and that one person that really kind of wasn't the best reader was reading, and they were like, and we was going to the store and I was saying we need to go to the store, and you like, bruh, why are you reading like that? That's exactly how this man acts. Exactly how this man acts, and I couldn't get past it, because that is one of the main reasons why I didn't like this movie, because if it was with good actors, I feel like we could have had a passable movie. And also other stuff, and I'm gonna get there in a minute. So they in the car, they're talking about, oh, DMX talking about he's trying to sell these drugs, and Nas like, hey yo, we need more to life, like you can't just be worried about money. And DMX like, what you mean, money rule everything, that's all I care about.
Shit, man, you think another motherfucker know what you need to do? Ain't no purpose, dog. It's money. We born to fucking die, man. In the meantime, get money. Fuck a book, man.
And that is very much a part of this movie, so remember that, okay? So they goes to DMX's grandmama crib in his basement with his two cousins, if I'm not mistaken. I may have gotten that wrong because I couldn't figure who they were. They're like supposed to be in high school or whatever, and they come up again, and that's the only reason why I'm telling you, because I was like, why are they even here? They go there, and old boy, they counting up the money. Old boy Black is there, and he looking menacing. Like, he looked like he finna kill somebody. I'm like, what he finna do? This movie still has to continue. He gonna kill everybody? Because that'd be a good little plot twist. But he looking like menacing and whatever. And DMX gets a call from a guy named Knowledge. Remember that name as well. So he gets a call from Knowledge. Knowledge like, yo, y'all got this stuff. I heard about it on the news. Like, that's what's up. Like, you know, he was like, man, the man you sent over here, who is apparently Black, we don't really like him. Like, we don't vibe with him like that. What's wrong with him? And he's like, man, like, essentially just brushing it off, right? And so this foreshadows to the fact that they clowning this man to his face, just like making fun of him, because there's always one person in your friend group that you just really probably actually don't like, but you still keep them around, and sometimes y'all make fun of them, I guess. Y'all let me know. I ain't really vibe like that, but cool. And so they making fun of this boy, and he get mad. He starts trying to fight, and then DMX starts shooting at him and telling him to strip. And my guy is sitting in the couch with his stuff out, and I'm like, why would you want a grown man just sitting there with his berries out? And this, I don't get it. That kind of seems counterintuitive. Like, wouldn't you just tell him to leave? Why he sitting there? Anyway, yeah. So that wasn't a necessary part of this movie. I'm just gonna let you know. We found out who Knowledge is, which is important, and we found out who his two cousins is, which was important. But that part, I guess I get it. But again, we'll get to that in a second. So the next thing we see is DMX. He's driving to this house, and he gets to the house. His dog's outside. There's some maids, and it's a big old house, right? And so he go inside, and there's this Jamaican guy named Lennox, who he calls Ox, right? I found out his name was Lennox. I didn't really know that until the end of the movie, and you'll see why. Now, he is talking about how he want him to get on to the new stuff, because that's apparently his supplier, I'm gonna guess from Jamaica, because he's out of Jamaica, and you know, he wants to get on that new stuff, and the guy Lennox is like, hey yo, I don't really trust it, like you too hot right now, you was in jail. We found out he was in jail before, which was important. You was in jail, and you know, I don't really know, you gonna have to go and do some stuff for me before I can trust you. That's what I think happened, because that scene was kind of hard to understand because I don't know much patois. And he was speaking in a very, very thick accent. And so I think that's what happened. Like, he was like, hey, yo, you gonna have to do something to prove to me that you right. That's what I think, because that's kind of what happened in the storyline.
I know I can. I know it.
I gotta think about it still. You understand? Me not gonna say me I gotta do it, but me I gotta think about it. You understand me?
Yeah. So just help a nigga out, man. That's all I'm trying to do, man.
Remember, you owe me a big,
anything,
big pussy clad favor.
So next thing we cut to, they in Colorado. And I'm like, huh? How did we get here? I don't know. Assuming, because again, I couldn't really tell. I'm assuming he told him, hey, yo, get some stuff out in Colorado, handle that business for me. And you know, is that what happened? Let me know if you've seen the movie more than once and you understood what happened. Because that part kind of was confusing based on what happens later on down the movie. So they're in Colorado, they're selling drugs or whatever, and Nas is there. The other dude who was at the house with them, I'm gonna have to look up what his name is, and I'll put it somewhere on the screen so you can know who I'm talking about if you know the movie well enough. And they out there, they selling drugs, and there's this rival person who sees them, and he's an interesting he doesn't really, I mean, he's important, but he doesn't really get much screen time in this movie. And the perm, just luxurious, and he's eating a banana very weirdly in the scene, and I'm like, what the? Oh, I feel uncomfortable. But this neither here nor there. He sees them selling drugs. He's thinking they up on his territory, they up on his turf, so he mad, right? Oh, I'm sorry, they're not selling drugs in Colorado. Something happened. See, that's the part that's, I had to read my notes. They're in Nebraska. That's where they were. I thought it was Colorado for some reason, because there was a time when they were in Colorado. Look, I don't know. I just don't know. That's part of the reason, part of the problem with this movie. There's a lot going on that doesn't get established very well. So if the storyline was actually like put together in a way where I knew what was going on, maybe I'm just dumb. That's possible. It's very much possible. But I was like, because you see the times, like you see the stamps of where they are. At one point it said Nebraska, and then one point it said Colorado. So that's why I'm like, it's because the guy with and Nebraska and Colorado close to each other. Look, I don't even know geography. Look, we just gonna keep moving. Anyway, so before all this happened, before the guy shows up for who you know is like, oh, they on my turf. Nas and DMX was talking again about like, what's your purpose? What's your plan? You gotta have more to life than this. Like, you can't just worry about money. There's more. And you keep seeing these themes throughout the movie, and it does become important, but I don't think that was established well enough in the beginning of this movie. And that's why when I said in the beginning of this movie I didn't like it until the second part of the movie, because that's when that starts mattering. And honestly, I care a lot more about that. And I'm sure if you about that hood life, you care a lot more about the first part. So that's probably why we didn't get to that part until we got to the end of the movie. And so the Jamaican dude tells DMX, hey, yo, I need you to do me a favor, right? Because that's what he said. Like, I ain't gonna put you on until you do me a favor. So he goes to Jamaica. He has him go to Jamaica, and he has him essentially kill somebody for him. And they find this out. He meets this guy down there. He tells him at the club, hey, yo, this is just, you know, he was with us at one point, but you know, we gotta get rid of him, blah, blah, blah. And again, I think that's what he said, because again, he had a very thick Jamaican accent, and I'm usually really good with people who have accents, but that one, I don't know. I just couldn't understand what they were saying. Maybe the audio on my TV is not good. I don't know. But he was like, I bet. So he, you know, sneaks up on Bull on the street, shoots him, runs off. Honestly, up until a certain point in this movie, I didn't think that was important. It is. Because again, there's so much stuff going on in this movie. I didn't really, we're getting there. Anyway, so we cut to T-Boz with Keisha, because because I don't remember her name, who was DMX's wife, and they out and they talking, and she like, girl, you need to get more to life, like you need to do more in your life, and you know, it's more, you know, I'm happy with Nas because, you know, I'm just happy, but if I wasn't happy, I would have to evaluate some things. Insinuating like sis about to leave him, and I thought this was going to be relevant, and it should have been. If this was relevant, it would have made this movie so much better, because if she was like trying to turn on him at one point or anything, that would have brought some excitement to this movie in the beginning. But no, it doesn't mean anything until the end when she like, I'll get there. But yeah, that's why I wrote it in my notes, because I was like, ooh, I feel like something gonna happen and she gonna snitch on him. Spoiler alert, no, she doesn't. she doesn't, and it would have been a lot more interesting if she did. So then we cut to Nebraska again, and we see, oh boy, we get a phone call to the cops. That's all you see. It's like, I think black, and you hear a phone call to the cops, and they like, hey yo, they selling drugs out in this place. Somebody that sounds white saying the N-word a lot, that was rubbing me the wrong way. But anyway, they're out there selling drugs in this place, and you need to raid them. So they raid DMX's people's place, and they kill the guy that they brought out there with him. And you know, everybody's like, you know, DMX finds out, and he calls his wife, and she's talking to him like, oh my god, where you at, what's going on? And he apparently knows what happened, so he's like, yo, they probably tapping your phone, don't call me. And that's why I thought she was ratting him out, which maybe they were trying to establish that, but you don't have to be a part of it for them to tap your phone. So I doubt it. Again, we're not off of that because it's not important apparently. So then DMX comes back from Jamaica, because this whole time he's in Jamaica. I told you earlier that he killed the guy, but eventually this is when he kills the guy. He kills the guy, comes back from Jamaica, goes to his house is getting raided. He leaves. Then we cut to Nas's house. T-Boz is like, hey yo, DMX was trying to call you all day, and there was apparently something going on in Omaha. So what's going on? I'm scared. And I'm like, sis, I would be too, okay? Because my God, he don't really seem like he really about that hood life, and she definitely doesn't like she about that hood life. So I'd be a little scared too. So he like, I bet. So the phone rings. DMX is on the phone. They go out, and he's like, yo, meet me outside. Meet me outside. Meet me outside. I'm sorry. I'm so corny. Anyway.
I'm around the corner, man. I'll be there in a minute.
Alright. Look, he getting ready to come by, alright? But don't worry, I'm not going nowhere. I just want to see what's going on.
Whatever.
So they go out, and DMX was like, yo, they was at my house, they got Keisha, I need to call her, because I know something going on. He paged me. So he goes to the payphone, because he didn't want to go to his house, because he thought they was tapping the phones. But my thing is, why are you calling? Neither here nor there. Anyway, so they go to the payphone, and Keisha apparently sounds suspicious, so he like, yeah, they got him. So then we cut to jail, and they're in jail, and Knowledge, remember the guy from before, who was apparently the one that was talking to him about stuff, and it seemed like he was part of their little system of selling stuff while he was in Omaha, because he got locked up too. So he gets locked up, and he calls Method Man, and I'm like, we just introducing new characters in the middle of it's like 45 minutes into this movie. Who was Method Man now? He called Method Man. He like, yo, you need to go down to Nebraska and get the dudes that set them up, because he know they set him up, and he like, yo, you need to handle that business. So he like, okay, bet. He goes to Nebraska, and again, I'm not hood at all, so I don't understand what the hell he was doing. So maybe y'all can explain to me. He goes down there flashy as hell, just talking to random people he don't even know, and I'm like, is he like implying that he know they people, and that's why they like letting him slide like that? Because that looked real suspicious, okay? And they thought it looked real suspicious, so they set Bull up. They was at this bar. He was like, you know, take me out, and he was a strip club, because he was talking about how he wanted to get a girl or whatever, and they drug his drink. They drug his drink, and he drinks the drink, and he was intending on killing them, because that's what he was there for, and he still does somehow, even though he's drugged, and he gets shot. So many people in this movie get shot that act like they're fine afterwards. Like y'all realize being shot kind of hurt. Look, I've never been shot. I've just heard from people who've been shot. It hurts, okay? But I digress. So this time we see DMX is on the run, okay? He on the run because he know they coming for him, and he end up in ATL. Ew. He with his people, and they're in ATL, and Knowledge calls him up and it's like, yo,
man, that's my word. If y'all niggas don't get that bail money, you gonna see what time it is.
in Jamaica, there is the people who apparently were the people of the guy who DMX killed. They let them know, hey yo, he dead now. And so now he mad. He knows his Lennox, who is the Jamaican guy from the beginning. He's like, he knows it's him. He gonna come for him. So we cut to probably one of the dumbest parts of this movie. Now this whole time the acting has been bad. The progression storytelling has not been the best. This made me so, like I said, I couldn't do a live reaction because this part, I had to walk away from the TV. So we're in ACL, we in Atlanta, and DMX with his two cousins is in the middle of this restaurant, just loud. Being loud. And I'm like, bro, you on a run. Why you drawing attention to yourself? But whatever, okay, that's his personality. And throughout this time, we've been getting narrations from Nas saying, you know, DMX's character, he do what he want, and he don't really look at consequences, and he don't really be thinking about other stuff, and he be using people to get what he need to get, and yada yada yada. And so we're at this dinner table, and the two people are having an argument, and DMX is egging this on because not only are you being loud, but now you're causing an argument in the middle of a, okay.
Son look mad hurt, you know what I mean? Yo, up front, but you don't want me to pull your bitch ass card in front of Buns and shit? Fuck it, just keep it real.
Yo, I know you're not gonna let this nigga talk to you like that, man. What's going on, man?
Nah, nigga, what? Some real shit now, what?
Chills, man. That bitch is chill, man. That niggas fuck around and make a mistake.
They end up pulling guns on each other, and one of them shoots the other one. And then, not only does he cause this to pretty much happen, which is what the again, narration by Nas says, he instigated the fight. He could have just calmed it down, but he instigated it. He sits there and waits for the cops to get there. Which, from again Nas's narration, I feel like we could have made this established by actual, you know, acting, but we're not gonna get into that. Nas's narration, he says he's tired. He's just tired of doing all this stuff, and that's why he sat there. And I don't know how he would know that, but whatever. He sat there, he got arrested, and he calls Nas. He's like, yo, you need to bail me out because once I get my prints, I'm done. Like, I'm done, and I need to get out of here so that I can kind of go where I need to go. So then we get to Lennox's house, and this is when I stopped hating this movie. I really wish that we kind of brushed past the we're doing drugs. I really selling drugs and the consequences of selling drugs. Well, not the consequences, but like people are killing people, people get raided, somebody ends up in jail. I honestly don't think that should have been the main focus of this movie. I think the second half of this movie should have been the focus of this movie. We get to Lennox's house and we get the best scene in the movie, in my opinion. Bruh is a G, okay? Oh, I just cursed, my bad. I try not to curse because my parents watch this. Hi. He is a G, right? He was in this house and he see on his security cameras they coming for him, and he get gunned, he get strapped up. He like, I bet y'all coming for me, let's go. And then on some real Scarface stuff, like on some real Scarface stuff, he gets these guns, start shooting at all these people. Mind you, it's like 8-9 people in his house just shooting. He killed everybody with guns, and somehow he got killed by getting sliced in the neck. He got his neck slit, and I think that was a woman, if I'm not mistaken, by a woman. But yeah, so, but that whole scene, I really wish that I could show it because that is the best part of this movie. It was cool as hell. And then we get to Nas trying to drop off the car because DMX told him, like, drop off the car so that nobody can find where I'm at. You're just supposed to drop the car off at Lennox because Lennox is the main drug dealer dude. So of course he gonna help them out, whatever. And he did. So he like, dang, okay, where I'm gonna drop his car at? So he goes back to the projects where they from, right? And he sees this little kid, and I'm saying little kid. This boy can't be more than like 10. Like he ain't even really learn how to like multiply. And this basketball got a gun. He's talking about how he shot somebody. He's talking about how he's selling drugs. And again, I'm not about that life, but I'm very much aware that unfortunately a lot of kids end up in that kind of life because that's the only way they know how to get any type of money. That's the only way they know how to take care of their family because their family is probably in poverty, and it's very sad to think about. And then Nas starts spitting to him like, hey, yo, you don't need to be in this. Don't let them suck you into this. Like, you can get above this. And again, this is a trope that they've been talking about throughout this movie of like, there's a purpose, there's something more to life, like you shouldn't be worried about the money, there's more than that. And that's when I realized I didn't hate this movie. I just hate the way this movie was told. And again, because I'm not about that hood life, maybe this is for the hood people who will understand in that way. But for me, it didn't start resonating until we got into actual actions of, hey, yo, this, we need to get better than this. And also, like, there's consequences to your actions. Like, people are dying. People have been in jail. You are losing, like, you possibly could lose your family. Like, there's, and now he sees this little kid, he know he gonna end up like him, and he like, yo, don't do that. And that's why I was like, I don't hate this movie. And so DMX gets bailed out of jail, thankfully. So we cut to 1999. October 1999, because this is all throughout 1999. And I kept wondering why the heck they're making it like timestamps. Doesn't mean anything. I thought some major event was going to happen. Doesn't mean anything. But it's October 1999. DMX is on a basketball court. He gets encountered by this dude who obviously ain't from around there. He like, dog, you the cops? Like, why you here? And he was like, I got something for you. I got an offer. You can't refuse, right? And he tells him about how he has to go infiltrate this person who they're trying to get and kill him. And then looking back, I didn't realize, I might have to watch this movie again, which is gonna hurt, but I might have to watch this movie again. Because this is my first watch review. Okay, I only watched it once. I watched it literally 10 minutes ago. So they're telling him to infiltrate this place, and I found out it's a pastor. I thought that was interesting because they're trying to say that essentially he has drugs on him in the church and he's selling drugs out the church. He has to infiltrate him and kill him. So he's like, he takes the deal because duh. Like, he about to spend life in prison. Who want to do that? So we again get a phone call from Knowledge to some people talking about, hey, yo, you need to go and find DMX and kill him, essentially, because he ain't bailed me out of jail, which, okay. And then I guess maybe he also said in that conversation that he needed to kill Nas because people showed up at Nas's house when T-Boz came in and she was like,
Who's you?
and they was like,
oh, where your man at?
was like,
I don't know. Why y'all in my house?
and she pulled a gun out on him, and I was like, sis, if I had one, same.
Out my motherfucking house and take your broke ass niggas with you.
We just here looking for this nigga that and we was hoping maybe send. Don't worry, shortstop, we on our way. Kim, my niggas. Hey yo, peace, shorty.
Okay? Because white people in my house. And then they pulled guns out on her, and it was a whole little standoff thing, and the boy was like, hey, we'll just tell him I'm looking for him, and they leave. Thankfully, they don't kill her, because that made me sad, because even though she can't act, I like T-Boz. She can't act for anything, but, you know, she wasn't the worst actor in this movie, so there's something. So then Nas meets up with DMX, and DMX is apparently getting infiltrated into this church. And he's starting to come to Jesus. He's having to come to Jesus moment. So he meets up with DMX, and he's like, hey, yo, I turned my life around. Like, I'm not about that life no more. And he was like, that's what's up. Like, and that's pretty much all that scene is meant for. Because it doesn't really foreshadow anything or mean anything to this movie. I guess it just essentially was to establish that DMX is changing his mind about life, which is important to the ending of this movie. So I get it. Then Nas comes home, and he talks to T-Boz, and T-Boz is like, hey, yo, we need to get the hell out of here. Because people's coming to my house. I don't like this. I don't like the way this is going. We need to get the out of here. Okay? Now, ASAP. And I'm like, sis, me too. I would have tutu. And he like, all right, we are. So then Nas goes to the barbershop, this next scene, and he comes out the barbershop, and somebody roll up on him and try to shoot him in the leg. And they actually do shoot him in the leg. And again, I'm like, he got shot in the leg. He shouldn't be able to walk, but he is. Well, I guess you can limp, but he got real far. He was driving and you know what? I'm trying to make logic out of this. But he shoots the guy, kills him, drives off, drives home to T-Boz like, hey, yo, we need to get the heck out of here. We're going to Africa. We're going to Africa. She like, Africa, what the hell? Then we cut to New Year's Eve, 1999. And again, none of this matters. I guess maybe they're saying like for the new millennium, they all got their lives together. Spoiler alert, okay? Maybe that's what it is. So then, you know, we hear a conversation again overlaid over people lining up on in Times Square for the ball drop, essentially talking about something. We gotta go for Keisha. We gotta go for DMX's wife. We gotta get her. That's how we gonna get to him, because we know where she at, we know where he at, right? And so DMX, because of him, he's stressing out. He putting on a suit. He gets to the church, and it's a big church. I was like, Jesus, I didn't know New York had churches like that. I know here in Atlanta they do, but I didn't know they had big churches like that. Well, maybe he is in Atlanta. Cause did he ever leave? See, I don't know. I don't know if he's in Atlanta or in New York. He probably, they always had these establishing shots, but they never did it when it meant anything. But he might be in Atlanta, because that was a big behind church, okay? And so we cut to him going to the church. He's supposed to shoot this pastor. He gets kind of skimming through it because it was a long, drawn out little scene where you see the church and you see there's all of his church members. He gets to the place where the pastor is, and he's right to shoot him, and he stops him. He's like, look, let me talk to you, bruh. Come on, young son, let me talk to you. And he goes on this very long tangent about how he wants to make the world a better place, because we've you know, been in the fire too long, and we need to get out. And one thing I didn't mention, actually, in the beginning of this movie, that after I watched the movie and we got to this part, made sense, was in the beginning of this movie, there's the shot of DMX rapping, like the credits of him, before they even get to the strip club, of him rapping, and he apparently has a pentagram as a child, and I guess sold his soul to the devil for money. And I didn't think it was important, and then we got to this part and I was like, oh, is that why he's saying you're in the fire? Because maybe he's saying he may deal with his devil and he can get rid of it. Maybe that's what he's talking about. Y'all let me know if y'all think that's what it was about. I don't know. He's like, God will overcome this evil.
The future of our people, do you think hatred and evil will go unpunished? The world is now feeling the heat from flames it has kept burning since the beginning of civilization. You represent that fire. You and I are just a small part of God's plan.
He's talking to him, and he's just, the minister cannot act, and I'm 100% sure he can't be a real pastor, because if he was a real pastor, how the heck did he keep a church? Because he did not. I was getting bored listening to him talk. Not gonna lie, I've been in plenty of churches, okay? He was boring. And then we cut to, while he's talking, we get to Keisha's house, and they run up on Keisha, and Keisha was ready. She was like, y'all ain't gonna kill me for this, okay? And Keisha beat the crap out of Method Man and shot him. And again, we cut back to the pastor. He is going on, telling him that he can help change the world, help change people, and he's letting them know, like, you don't have to choose this life, you can change, and all that good stuff. And he's like, are you gonna shoot me or not? And his people come in, and he like, no, let him do it. If you want to do it, let him do it. And he doesn't do it. He hugs the pastor. They take his gun. It's a beautiful moment until you realize that he's probably going to jail. Because this was the reason why he wasn't going to go to jail, was because he had to kill this pastor. So are they somehow going to get him out of jail? I mean, it's cute. It's a great ending, I guess, but you're going to jail. Okay, cool. And then we cut to the end of the movie, and we hear Nas saying that him and T-Boz went to Africa, and it's so beautiful, but I guess it wasn't in the budget to show us Africa, because they just showed New York when the ball drops in 2000. And that was it. That's the end of the movie. Again, I did not hate this movie. I didn't. I think that it drew out some things it didn't need to, and I think that it was horribly acted. But again, cinematography was great because Hype Williams, and I like the message of the movie, which is essentially like, you can turn your life around. There is a purpose. It's not just about the money. It's not just about, you know, selling drugs all your life from 10 to however old DMX is supposed to be. You know, you don't want to, it's not supposed to be where you at. You need to change, and you can change. And that's why I think people like this movie, because it has a message to it. In my opinion, it just doesn't tell it that well. It just doesn't, and I really wish it did, because to be quite honest, I like parts of this movie to the point that I wish it was in a better movie. Like that part with the Linux guy, that part was good. Okay, I was in it then. I was like, ooh, that's good. But yeah, that's my review. Like most, like all of these, I'm going to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. And because of the second part of this movie, I am going to rate this movie. Because of the second part of this movie, I am going to rate this movie 5.5 out of 10.
Okay, so while I'm editing this video, I realized that I may have been a little too harsh on this movie because I already didn't like it from the initial reaction I had of it before I even watched it this time. And like analyzing what I'm saying after I've said it, I actually don't dislike this movie as much as I'm saying I do. Because it does all make sense, I just really think there was so many unnecessary scenes, and also the acting. We can't get past the acting. I don't know if I'm gonna still give it the same score. I'd say probably a 6.5, maybe a 6.5. I'm gonna give it 6.5 out of 10 because, yeah, if you made it to this part of the movie with the review and you don't already hate me, maybe this will redeem it. Okay.
Acting was horrible, and the storyline or the storytelling wasn't that great. Because I like the story, I just didn't like the way it was told. And I know y'all gonna be in the comments telling me, Francine, you don't understand. You're not about that life. I'm not. And the thing about movies is a lot of times you have people who are going to watch them that aren't about the life that you want them to be about. Like there's plenty of movies that I like that y'all probably hate. So it is what it is. Like I like Lord of the Rings. Most people think that's boring as hell, but also nerd. Yeah, I'm still a nerd. It is what it is. Like I understand that every movie isn't for everybody, but y'all suggested I watch this movie, so here we are. That being said, if you like this video, hit the like button. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, put them in the comment section below. And if you haven't subscribed already and this didn't deter you from doing so, I have other movies on here that I actually like or I actually think I will like, because I haven't seen any of the ones y'all suggested. So there's plenty of other movies. Just like, see this one as a bad one, okay? Because there's a couple, especially next month, because next month is Valentine's Day month, so I'm gonna do all love movies. Ooh, cute. And so I probably will like most of those. The ones that I have planned, I feel like I probably am gonna like, because I've heard nothing but good things about them, but then I've heard nothing but good things about this movie, so we'll see. Yeah, so please subscribe. I know we don't always get along, but we here, you know what I'm saying? With that being said, I'll see you on Monday.